Gotham Knights is finally here, and honestly guys, I have been having an absolute blast with it. It's a big, grindy game with the best rendition of Gotham City, at least in my opinion, and some truly fun, cooperative play. If you want a deeper dive into the game, you can check out Liam's review from the site, which I've edited into video form. However, if you have already picked the game up and you're dipping into Gotham City for the first time, then I've got some tips that I really wish I knew before I donned the cape and cowl, to make sure you're equipped and ready to take on the threats of the dodgiest city in the world. Stick around for my top 10 tips and tricks that I really wish I knew. Starting things out, you are going to want to get your knighthood on each of the characters. While leveling carries across all characters, knighthoods do not. This is an easy one to leave on the back burner, but by completing premeditated crimes, those are the red ones on your map, along with some training exercises, you're going to want to get as many of these things done as quickly as possible. This is because your knighthood not only reveals a new skill tree for each character, it will give each a unique and, more importantly, faster way to traverse the city. Tying in nicely with that point, when you're out on patrol, you're going to want to do the smaller crimes that are dotted around the city. These typically show up as little white triangles, and by completing them, you're going to get some XP and resources, but what you're really after are the clues. You'll sort of soak up these red magnifying glasses, and by collecting more when you return to the belfry, you reveal more premeditated crimes, making the completion of your knighthoods all the easier. If you're all about that XP grind, then you're going to want to get to exploring Gotham with a friend. Gotham Knights features untethered 2-player co-op, meaning you can go anywhere in the city in the same session without distance restrictions. This allows you to complete different side quests, challenges and crimes, but what's really exciting about that is that whatever you and your friend complete, the XP will be awarded to both of you, so you can earn XP twice as fast with a friend. Sticking with XP for a moment, another great way to boost up your level in the early game is by collecting the secret caches which are dotted around Gotham. It's real tempting to leave stuff like this to the end of the game, but I reckon you could do all of these in one sitting, because the short little time trials are super easy to complete. There aren't an overwhelming number of them either, so work your way through these and net yourself a skill point or two, and with levels taking less XP early on, they will be more impactful to you in the beginning. When you are leveling up, you may be tempted to keep all of your characters up to scratch, level and power wise, but what I'd recommend is don't feel like you need to play as a character that you don't want to. We know that the characters level up as you move on, and this also includes the suits and gear in your inventory, but genuinely, I didn't touch Nightwing for pretty much the first 15 hours or so with the campaign. I played one mission as him later on, and by the end of it, he was my most powerful character with like 10 plus momentum abilities waiting to be spent. You don't need to be grinding characters that you don't want to. As you start to level up your character and get better gear with better stats, you're going to want to focus on mods. Now, you likely won't need to go on the hunt for these because I came across them quite naturally, and let me tell you, there are an abundance of them. But one thing you might not realise is that when you're crafting a piece of gear, it will compare it to the one you have equipped with its modded stats. So a new piece of gear might not look like a good deal when in actuality, once you have a couple of mods equipped in it, it's way better. One of the most important things to keep an eye out for then is that some of the other stats other than power are higher than your current gear, and how many mod slots the new gear itself has. You can have anywhere from no mod slots to 3, so this will impact how much of a power increase your mods can afford you. Mods are also shared across characters, and quite usefully, they are marked when a specific character has one equipped. I just advise you to take them off the one you aren't using and reapply them when you go back to them, but chances are you'll have better mods by that point anyway. Sticking with crafting, resources are a near completely pointless component to Gotham Knights, as you'll be raking up all kinds of stuff that apparently makes suits. When you get to the higher level suits, it's not common, but I did experience examples when I didn't have the higher end materials for higher end suits. And no, the game never really tells you specifically how to get these, but if you go into the menus, hover over the materials on the crafting tab, it will tell you which factions you need to defeat to be in with a chance of collecting them. In all honesty, I'm not quite sure on the hit rate on these, but if you just sort of casually lean towards a specific type of enemy because you need that material, you will eventually accrue a small collection. So for one last crafting and customization point, one thing you're going to undoubtedly want to unlock are the various styles of suits and transmogs, which allow you to spice up your superhero look. This is another one that the game doesn't outright tell you how to unlock, at least from what I remember. There is a little tag on one of the crafting screens, but I do have a simpler solution for you here. I'll just lay it out. So really this one is just tied to crafting suits. Whenever you go to craft a suit, it will tell you the style and colorway that comes with it. It might seem obvious, but it maybe means that you should be crafting suits that you don't need because they are a lower stat, but they do have a suit style and colorway that they'll unlock. Some suits and colorways are tied to specific challenges, which you can find in the crafting challenges tab. Now there are a total of 14 transmogs for each character. Some of these are tied to deluxe editions, some are tied to the completion of the story, and then on top of that there are 16 colorways to unlock per character. So be sure to check which are available through crafting and which you have yet to unlock. Okay, back to some actual gameplay related stuff. Next up we have momentum abilities. These are unlocked as you've completed your knighthood, and each character has 8 specific abilities. However, just completing the initial knighthood is not enough. Heading to the challenges tab and then the momentum abilities will highlight specific tasks that you need to complete to unlock the next momentum ability. These abilities are super useful, especially when you get into the later game. So if I was you, I'd check out what challenges are on the agenda and try and work them into your crime fighting schedule. And last up we have a bit of an inconsequential one, but it's really just to boost the fun factor. A lot of the promotional material showcased the various superheroes pulling off a couple of cool tag team combos, and the game never explicitly tells you how to do this. So what you want to do is get into a fight, knock an enemy back a few pegs, grab them and then press X for the tag team option, and then get your other crime fighting partner to walk in front of them and also press X. Then you'll have yourself a pretty sick looking takedown. And those are the top 10 things I wish I knew when I started Gotham Knights. Let me know if you're planning on exploring Gotham now that it's finally out in the wild. I'd be tempted to play through the campaign in the New Game Plus mode now myself with another friend, because I've just really enjoyed the casual fun of it all. Anyway guys, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, consider leaving a like, and even better, subscribe to the channel. Whatever you decide though, I'll catch you here next time on Push Square.